We'll start with Mangalashmi. Namo Arhantadam, Namo Siddhardam, Namo Airiyadam, Namo Uvachayadam, Namo Loe Savasahudam. Mangalam Bhagwan Viro, Mangalam Gautamupani, Mangalam Kunda Kundatyo, Jaina Dharmostu Mangalam, Sarva Mangalya Mangalyam, Sarva Kalyana Karakam, Pradhanam Sarva Dharmanam, Jainam Jayatu Shasanam, Jainam Jayatu Shasanam, Jainam Jayatu Shasanam. मोक्षमार्गस्य नेतारं वेत्तारं कर्मभूततां ज्ञातारं विश्वतत्त्वानां वन्दे तद्गुणलब्धये वन्दे तद्गुणलब्धये वन्दे तद्गुणलब्धये. Um, so, what we are learning about is the seven essentials, and how they are derived is by dividing the six substances into two, Jiva and Ajiva. And when we see Jeev on its own, then we have Samvar, Nishra, and Moksha coming. And when Jeev depends on a Jeev for its own happiness, and it looks up to other objects which are not Jiva, then automatically Ragdvesh happens, Ashraf and Bandh happens, and Sansar happens. This is what we have discussed in detail, right? And then how is this a whole karma thing is working? Like how the karmas are coming, how the karmas can be shed. All these things is what we are going to learn by this topic of karmas. So today we'll start with a bit of literature, and that literature would be from Primers of Jain Principles. Very basic questions uh, about the karma. We are trying to learn about the karma, the eight karmas, right? How many different types of living beings are there? So there are two types of living beings. One, those are free from karmas, and one, those have been bonded with the karmas and they are therefore taking the cycles of birth and death. So they are called transmigratory, or in Hindi, if we call them, it's called samsari jivas. And the liberated ones are the Mukta Jiva, the Siddha Bhagwan. So Siddha Bhagwan is the one who is free from all the karma. So he is in truest sense liberated. So he's called Mukta, free or liberated. And we, on the other hand, are actually taking rounds from one gati to another, again taking births, dying, and then again taking rebirths. So transmigratories are the Sansari Jivas, right? So what constitutes transmigratory living beings? The soul's existence along with association of karma constitutes transmigratory living beings, right? So we have association of karmas with us, and that is the reason why we are going from one point to another, correct? What constitutes the liberated living beings? Mukta Jiva, the soul's existence without any associative relationship with any karma comprises liberated living beings. The Siddhas are the one who do not have any sort of connection with any of the beings. So they do not have attachments, they do not have any that kind of bhav which actually makes them get bonded with the karma, and therefore they are truly free from all attachments, from all obligations, and therefore they are called liberated living beings. So these are Siddha Bhagwan. Now the question arises, what is karma? And very interesting definition over here. Should the soul be in the impure state due to attachment, that is rag, and aversion, that is dvesh, it becomes an instrumental condition for the karman particles get bonded with the soul. These particles are called karma. So what is happening over here? We are having emotions of raga, which is attachment, and dvesh, which is aversion. Correct? So I saw this beautiful pen, and suddenly I had this emotion that, okay, I want to own it. So that feeling that I like it, it has led to that certain kind of attachment that's called rag. So that attachment did not just happen like that. I am a being, right? I'm a soul. I have some uncountable pradeshas which I have made up of. I have my own fabric of soul with which I have all my consciousness, all my attributes. So I am this whole collection of invisible pradeshas with which the soul is made because of pradesha gun that we learned about. And these, whenever I commit some rag or dvesha, when I like something or I do not like something, when I just cannot remain rational, I either tilt towards liking something or I tilt away from by disliking something. What happens in myself? You must be realizing it if we sit down and think about it. Whenever we have an exam to give, or whenever if I have to make a presentation, or maybe I'm going to give a speech today, or today my results are going to be announced, or today I have to sing in front of my audience, I have to speak in front of them. I'm playing a game, I'm running in a race, I'm running a marathon, I'm driving my vehicle. Whatever, if we are doing something, there is some different kind of energy that we feel beneath us. What we say is that if I have to speak something in front of the audience, I feel a bit, uh, we hesitate. What will happen? Will everybody like it or not? That anxiety before the performance. So we automatically have different levels of our blood pressure. The blood runs in very different speed in our veins, right? That happens whenever we have something, some event that is coming up and we have to perform in that event. So how does that happen? The moment our emotions get involved, even the body behaves differently. If I'm bored, you'll see it from my face. If I'm happy, you'll see it from my face. If I'm sad, you'll see it from my face. My whole body language is actually telling what all is going inside my mind. Yes, it's true for everybody. So when this body can feel it, what you're feeling, the fabric of your soul will not keep feel that. It also should do, because the whatever the feelings are happening, they're happening in the soul, not in the body. What we see in the body is the effect of it. So when the effect is so much apparent, so visible on this body, then actually just imagine what all is happening inside the soul. There also must be something happening. We call that something as the vibration. And in Hindi, we call it yoga, right? That yoga, caused by the emotions of rag and dvesh, makes this soul an instrument. It makes an instrumental environment where the karmic dust automatically gets invited. It happens automatically. See, should the soul be in the impure state due to attachment and aversion, it becomes an instrumental condition for the carbon particles get bonded with the soul. When will it happen? Only when I'm going to do rag or dvesh. What will happen? I'll create an environment which lets karma get stuck with me, so that get bonded with me. These carbon particles, when attached to soul, are called karma. Right? Understood? It will not happen. It will never happen. Uh, it will never happen if somebody is not committing the crime of rag or dvesh. It will only happen when we commit some crime of something of this sort. Like we do anger, we become very proud, we become very we become greedy, we cheat people, we do not behave well with others. All these things, they actually invite the karmas. And why does it happen? It's not that it's something very unique to Jainism. Most of the Indian philosophies believe in karma. And why do they believe so? It's very simple and very logical. If I commit a crime today, if I go out and beat somebody, will some actions be taken against me? Should somebody exercise some sort of punishments on me? Should why? Why? What is the need? If I went out and I met somebody and I didn't like that person, I just beat them up. What wrong did I do? I just did what I wanted to do. Would you want that, okay, there should be a system that punishes such kind of crimes? Correct? Why do we need that? What is the basic premises we have behind it? If somebody goes out and beats somebody else, what is the thing that is being very wrong, fundamentally wrong over here? Why do we need punishments? Soham, why I just cannot do what I want to do? I wanted to beat that person, I beat him up. What wrong did I do?
Because every like action has like a consequence. So
No. No. What I'm asking is, I'm not asking that whether it has consequence or not. I'm saying, what is the need? I felt that I want to have a fight with that person, and I fought. I had just that thrill that I want to hit that person, and I hit him. Now, how come the police is coming and I'm being presented in front of a judge and the judge is announcing some punishment? What is this whole, like, why is it even required? I just did what I wanted to do.
to enforce like discipline.
Why? What kind of discipline? What kind of discipline? Okay,
So
what if I go out on the road and I hit myself? Will the police come?
no, because
Doctors
you're doing
might
it to
come,
yourself.
but the police will not, right?
Yeah.
Right? Why the activity is same. Someone is being hit, right? And now the police is not bothered. Why? Because I'm being hit. If I'm beating somebody, the police is bothered. If I'm beating myself, why the police is no, like, they might even enjoy seeing me beating myself up, right? So I
Yep.
want to know, when does crime happen? What is the underlying premises on which they decide that, okay, he's the criminal now, he's committed this crime?
When you're hurting someone else.
Is someone else, right? So the crime only happens when you go out of your territory. That's the whole premises. You go inside your kitchen and, pick some juice from your fridge. Nobody is bothered. But you go to a random shop, open their fridge, and have the juice without paying the bills. You are now stealing. You are a criminal now. You're a thief. Activity is same. I'm going to my kitchen and opening the fridge and taking the juice, or I'm going to my neighbor's house and opening the fridge and taking the juice. Activity is same. But in one place, it's not considered crime. It's a right. But when it is happening in a very different setting in somebody else's house, then it's a crime because it is happening without their permission. Correct? So the basic underlying principle is, the moment you enter others' territory and you try to exercise your own actions, you automatically become a criminal. And there should be a function of giving you punishment or giving you rewards. There has to be somebody who is judging all over this and who is there to protect you or to give you punishment so that the discipline exists. No, see, nobody has made it. It is so obvious. It is so obvious what stealing is, what violence is. Whenever somebody else who is not you is being intimidated by you, who are very different, against his will, then that becomes a crime. Similarly, just like in a very micro level, what we see over here, that things are working in that way. Similarly, what Jainism is saying, when you follow this very principle and you have your police stations, you have your courts, you have lawyers, you have punishment mechanisms, you have prisons. Why? So that one person does not provide any harm to another. Similarly, the nature, it has larger audience to cater to. It is not just restricted to humans. You're only dealing with the crimes done against humans. But the mother nature has to think about all its parts. So it is not just humans, it is animals as well. It has soil, it has water, it has clouds, it has air. It has all sorts of materials, all sorts of things that we see around, like it has sand, it has iron, it has petroleum, it is everything that is kept by Mother Earth. The nature must be exercising some sort of mechanism to protect it so that the one person does not cause his own territory and breach it to harm, to provide harm to any other existence, any other part of existence, right? So that's what karma is saying. Karma is saying that, okay, I am the police appointed by Mother Nature, and I'll not harm you until and unless you're confined to yourself. But the moment you thought that, okay, you can use it for your own benefit, and if you try to own it, mind you, I'm going to come after you. That's what the statement of karma is. So rag and dvesh, whenever we are, I mean, okay, a thief has planned to rob one bank. So when does he become the criminal? When does he become an actual criminal? When the theft actually takes place, or when he actually plans that how this theft is going to take place, right? When should we, if there is a terrorist organization and which is planning to bomb a school, right? When, while they are planning and strategy, they're making this strategy to, actually attack on that school, right? And midway you reach them and you bust them before they actually carry out the attack. So see, clearly they have not attacked, they have not committed the crime. Will you still punish them? If you catch that terrorist organization, you have all the blueprints from where they had to enter, what all the ammunitions they were carrying. If you, the actual crime has not been committed, there has been no harm done by them so far, but you have caught them making the strategy to execute the same. When do they become the criminals? When they strategize it or when they execute it? Adi, when that terrorist becomes terrorist, when he plans
When
it,
they plan
when he
it,
actually executes it.
when they strategize it.
So when they had this idea, then only they'll become terrorists, or when they actually shoot somebody and then they'll become the terrorist.
Mm, because they had the thought of doing it, that still karma, so they
No,
would
no,
be.
no. See, we're not going to the karmas right now. We can't see the karmas, right? We're just establishing whether there should be karmas or there should not be, right? For that, what we're seeing is what we already know about this world, how this world functions. First thing that we saw is the mechanism of punishment. Why do we have it? Until and unless I'm confined to myself, I'm not criminal. The moment against somebody else's will, I provide harm to them, I become a criminal. So the thin line is whenever you are limited to yourself, you are okay. When you cross that boundary, you become a criminal. Fine. Now we have to decide that, okay, I have not crossed the boundary. I have not actually committed that crime. I thought I'm going to bomb that particular place. I had everything in with myself, and tomorrow I have to execute it. Am I already the criminal when I have not executed my work, or I'll become a criminal once I execute it? I want to know this. Do we become criminal without committing the crime, or we become criminal as and when we think about committing the crime? How should it work?
Because we see that they have committed a crime, we believe it's when they do the action,
Correct.
but they have already planned it out, so that's
Yeah. So when somebody commits it, definitely it becomes apparent that they are the criminals. But our efforts are always is that prevention is better than cure. It's better that we catch them early so that the damage can be minimized. So even if they're planning about it, even if a terrorist organization is planning to execute a major blast somewhere, it would be better that my intelligence works to catch them while they're planning rather than while they execute it. Correct? Similarly, the karmas are very smart. So they do not care about whether you have actually executed the crime, whether you have committed violence or whether you have not, whether you have bought this pen or you have not. You just liked it. You just planned to buy it. You just had this desire that what if I had it? The karmas know that, okay, something is cooking up and we have to reach there. He's already involved in the crime. Therefore, the karma does not depend upon the action, but upon our thoughts. Are you getting it? So in Jainism, we give more weightage to thoughts than to actions. So a very interesting story about it that we get to hear in our scriptures. So what happened? There was this one Muniraj, and that Muniraj was in his dhyan, and looking at him, his so calm aura of that Muniraj. There was one wild pig in that jungle near the cave of the Muniraj. He saw Muniraj and he felt so good. So he thought, oh, how calm he is. How do I get this peace in me by just looking at this Muniraj? And so he felt so good. So he just said, okay, I have to do something for him. And what can a pig do? Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to guard this cave. I'll stay here and see if somebody comes. I'm going to protect this Muniraj from that person. And because Muniraj was there in that jungle, there was one lion as well, and he was very wild lion. And he smelled that, okay, there is some presence of some human in this jungle. So through his nose, he just found out where that cave is, where a human being is situated. And he just saw the Muniraj and he was so happy. Okay, finally, after weeks, I'm going to have some delicious food for myself. So he just prepares himself to attack Muniraj. And here, in front of the cave, there is a wild pig who is prepared to save the Muniraj. And now the wild lion sees the pig and he realizes, okay, he is going to fight me before I reach Muniraj. So they both start fighting. So there is a now very, very, very cruel fight, very cruel duel between the pig and the lion, right? So both are fighting, correct? Both are fighting, correct? Adi, you are on whose side? Lions or pig side? Like whose side will you pick? So Adi, whose side would we pick? They both are fighting. See, the action is the same from both the sides, right?
None.
Yeah.
Like no one side.
The question is, so the pig has attacked the lion because he realized that this lion is going to provide harm to Muniraj. And I'm here to protect him. He's such a calm, he's just, I don't know, I have never seen something so soothing in my entire life. So that pig is totally smitten and he wants to protect by hook and crook anyhow that Muniraj. And when he realized that, okay, this guy is going to attack on Muniraj, he prepared himself. He forgotten that he is a pig and that he is a lion. There is no comparison when it comes to fight between a pig and lion, but he just gave it all and he jumped onto lion and the lion also started fighting, right? So they both are fighting. They both are committing violence. Yes or no? They both are committing violence. But if I am to ask that whose side will you pick? Have you already made your sides? See, the winner is already, we know the winner is going to be lion, right? So should we side with the winner or should we side with the person who is actually fighting for a good cause? Adi, whose side you are on? Pig or lion?
Neither, because they both plan to do something bad.
Neither. Why you're not on? You'll have to pick one of the two sides. You cannot be natural. You cannot be neutral in these. In the times of calamity, we cannot choose to be neutral, right? We have to pick sides. It's a war. You have to be somewhere. So if given choice, whose side will you pick? Lion's side or you'll be in the team of pig? Adi. Soham, you?
I'd be on the pig side.
You'll take pig side. Why? Is he doing something good? Or
Yeah, because he's fighting for a good cause.
No, but while you see, if you are there with your camera and if you shoot it, they both are doing the same thing. They both are hitting each other. So
yeah, but the
by their
motive
action,
behind
they're doing the same thing.
the motive
Yeah.
behind the pig fighting is
Yeah, so the action does not mean anything. Your thoughts behind that action means like they are the soul, correct? So the entire karmic philosophy is based on the emotion, is based on the thoughts. It's not what we do with this body, it's what we do with our mind, with our thoughts, with our heart. So if I have negative emotions and I'm doing something good out of compulsion, because everybody is doing charity, so out of that pressure, I also have to donate something, though I do not want to. It actually burns me from inside to even give a penny away, which I earned with my hard work. So though I might look like a great donator, I'm donating so much, but if my thoughts are not in sync, the donation won't count. Though it looks like that you have given so much away, but it won't count because your thoughts are not in sync with your actions. Correct? So the karma, they 99% depend on your thoughts, on your parinam, on your emotions, and on your actions. There is negligible amount of it. I mean, there is actually, if we say that there is no action, no reaction towards an action, it actually sounds a bit unrealistic. But when you actually sit down quietly and try to understand whether our actions carry any reactions, so actions as in not bodily actions, actions means our thoughts. Therefore, we have to be more cautious in choosing our thoughts. The better the thoughts are, the better our future will be. Correct? So two things is what, while we're trying to establish the existence of karmas, is that one, since we are running this money with a limited knowledge that we humans have, even we know that there is need of law, there is need of prisons, there is need of punishment, there is need when somebody actually crosses the boundaries, we need to exercise some punishment, some laws needs to be passed. So when we, with our limited knowledge, have this necessity of keeping laws in place, this whole setting of nature, it is full of wisdom. Why will it not have that functioning of some sort of laws? So we call them natural laws. Second thing, when does the law is when does the crime is committed? When is a crime committed? A crime is committed as soon as the thought about committing the crime comes into the mind. Similarly, when does the karma get attracted towards the soul? Whenever attachment or aversion, either of these two happens, that very time, the karma's police attack the soul and they get attached to it. Okay, these particles are called karma. Understood? So this attachment has a process. How does it happen? We've already seen is there are 4 stages. There are 4 types of bandhas. How many different factors are involved in bondage? There are 4 factors. One is the type of karmas that they're attracting. So see, somebody has money, but they do not have family. Somebody has family, they do not have money. Somebody has family and money, they do not have fame. Somebody has family, money and fame, they do not have health. See, everybody is actually suffering from very unique problem. Nobody has everything. Somebody is always lacking something. Somebody is ahead in something and lagging behind in other. Correct? So when our situation is different, so the causes that make that situation will also be different. No? Therefore, they are making the situation different. So if the effect is different, it means the cause is also different. Right? If I'm putting water into the freezer, it will not boil. It will be frozen because I have given a different setting. If I put it over the stove and then say, okay, now ice should be prepared, it will not happen. So you change the cause, the work will change, the effect will change. If effect is different, what does it mean? That you have done something different in the cause. So how many types of karmas you're attracting? So that is the type of karma particle. And okay, different type, but somebody is not healthy, but they are only having migraine. But somebody might have cancer. Somebody might have paralysis. Correct? So even if somebody is unhealthy, there are so many different types of being unhealthy. So that intensity, the quantity of karmic particles, How intense is our suffering? How intense is the result of those karmas? That is also to be determined. So not just the type, the different types, but also the quantities in those different types. So these are the two logistical ways in which the karmas come. What type of karmas are going to come and in what quantity? First is called Prakriti Bandh. Prakriti means the types of karma. And next one is Pradesh Bandh. Pradesh means the quantity of the karmas. Got it? Now, again, now the contract is about to happen. So we have the type in place and the quantity in place. But now what needs to be decided is that for how long duration they are going to stay with us and they are going to give their results. So that is the duration of bondage. And that duration will also be seen by the intensity of the bondage. So when they are staying, with what intensity they are going to cause harm. The quantity were of the karmic quantity, but the intensity now there's strength, right? So I can apply too much of glue and that glue will not hold these two things together. And I can apply very little of, let's say, bond, and very little of the bond will bond these two things together. So the intensity, right? So normal paper glue does not have any strength to hold two things together for a long time. But simple glue, it has simple adhesive that we use in furniture. It has very little bit of quantity creates a great bond, correct? So this intensity. So these are the four stages on which the karma is judged. What type of karma is, how many quantities of that karma we have, for how long duration it is going to stay with us, and when while it stays with us, how intense is its result, is its effect. These are the four types of bondage in which the karma is judged. Clear so far? I hope it's not getting very tough. It's easy, right? Adi, Soham, Neeraj Kripaji, it's all fine. Yeah, great. Okay, now, what causes these bondages? So now again, there is segregation. So first two bondages are caused by the yoga that we have, and these next two bondages are caused by the kashayas, right? It's very simple, very simple. The actions that we have, the actions, these actions will actually create vibration in the soul. Those vibration will attract the karma. So the karmas have come now to the soul. But now I need to decide that how long these karmas are going to stay. That duration will be decided by say. So there is one person, we caught one criminal, and what he did is that he hit somebody else, right? And there is one criminal who has actually murdered someone. They both have been caught by the police and they have been presented in front of the judge. Will there be difference between their terms of punishment that they're going to spend in jail? Right? Why, how will the difference be? With the severity of their emotions. What if somebody who was just riding his bicycle did not plan, did not intend to cause any harm, and there was one old person walking by that garden? While he was just going by his bicycle, this old person fell unconscious and just dropped in front of his bicycle. No, he did not plan to harm somebody. He was cautiously riding the bicycle. The old man happened to fall unconscious at this very time. So this person, but this guy has been arrested for the charge of murder, that negligence in driving has led to the death of this old man. There was another person who for months planned that, okay, when this old man comes out of his house, at what time does he come out? What should I do? And he's again riding the bicycle. And while the old man comes, he actually accidentally kills that person by planning it systematically. These both are in same setting. But while presented in front of the judge, they'll be given punishment of different severity. One will be punished severely because he has planned. So his emotions, his anger, he has taken some vengeance towards, he had some really sore emotions toward that old man. And this person was just going about his life. He did not plan. So the duration, the intensity, the severity of the punishment, it depends with your emotion. how you are involved in this crime. So the duration and the intensity is done by the Kashai, the passions that we have, and the type of karmas that are going to come is by our action. So why these both are there in front of the judge? Because they both were riding the bicycle and bicycle hit that old person and the person died. So they both did the same action. So they were presented in front of the judge. But while examined by the judge gave punishment of lifetime prison to the person who planned it, and judge gave a very light punishment to the person who just happened to be there. So what changed? Action was same. So your actions, they take us to Prakriti and Pradeshpan. They only invite the karmas in quantities. That's it. Now, who decide that how long these karmas will stay and how severe will their punishment be? That is decided by whom? That is decided by the passions. Did we do it intentionally? Why did it happen? If that kind of thought occurred in my mind, what led to that thought? Everything. So see, this is what is written over here. The actions of mind, speech, and body are instrumental causes in the vibratory activity of the soul space unit. The actions is called yoga. So these man, vachan, and kaya, body, mind, and speech, these are called yoga. This yoga is the basis for the types and quantities of karma, which is Prakriti and Pradesh Bandha. On the other hand, the passions means armithyatva, wrong belief, krodh, anger, ego, man, deceit, maya, greed, lobe. These things are the causes for the duration and intensity of karmic bondage. Understood? Understood? So these two are done by actions. The kind of actions we have. Actions of what? Actions of mana, vachan, and kaya. Right? Man is the mind, vachan is the speech, and kaya is this bodily activity. Because of it, constantly the karmas are coming, not just to us. Even Arihant Bhagwan, he has body. We go to temple, we bow down in front of Arihant Bhagwan. So he has body. That's why we have idols in our temples, right? That is the body that Arihant Bhagwan has. So he has body. Because he has body, even Arihant Bhagwan also has karmas coming to him. Because of body, the karmas come, the types of karma and the amount of karmas. But they stay only when we ask them to. So these two are determined by passions. We call them Kashai. Kashai means what? Krodh, that is anger. Right? Kashai is what? Ego, pride, deceit, mayachari, cheating, and greed is lobha and wrong belief. So what happens with Aryan Bhagwan? They have body, they have Divyadvani, they are constantly speaking in Samavisharana. So they have karmas coming. But there is no Kashai to welcome those karmas. So those karmas, they come to the body of Aryan Bhagwan. Let's say this is Aryan Bhagwan, the karmas will come. These two bandha will happen, but there will be no welcome by the Kashai. There are no, he's Vitragi. So these karma will go as just they arrived and they left. They arrived, they left. They arrived, they left. So there is no technical bandha happening to them. They are free from karmas. We call it Irya Pathashrav. It means it just comes and goes. It the kind of ashrav that does not stay. Ji Kripa ji, tell me.
So when you talk about actions, or what, sorry, the actions that you do, is that what causes the type of karma that comes?
Yes, yes. So see, first is the action is what is creating the mechanism to karmas to come. So action is even if they are breathing, that is also the activity of body. Even because of our breath, the karmas are coming. While we're talking, it is generally said that we should not speak when it is not required, or we should speak less, we should use minimal words. Why is it said? Because the moment we speak, we open the window for karmas to come. Whenever children sit, we tell them to don't shake your legs while you're sitting. Do not, some people just keep on doing this while they're sitting, they'll do this. When I'm in the garden, I'm plucking the grass. I'm doing something with my body constantly. If I'm sitting, I'm just, I'm sitting on a chair and I'm just being forward and back. I'm just going back and forth. We're doing these bodily activity, and our ancestors, the old people, they say, okay, don't do it. Do not speak if it is not required. Sit quiet and sit straight. Do not, just shake your body much. Why do they tell us to do so? Because the more bodily activities we do, the more ashram comes. These are called yoga. So if I'm using my hands right now, it is actually leading to ashrava. If I'm talking right now, it is leading to ashrava. I'm sitting down, there is no work that I have to do, but I'm thinking about something. Okay, I will do this, I'll go there, I'll be that. All these thoughts, they are actually the activity of mana. It is also creating vibration. It is also inviting the karmas. And when that is happening, I involve my Kashai to that, then it will freeze that bandha. The agreement will be signed and the karmas will stay. So every moment the karmas are coming to us because of our actions. So yoga are called the gates through which the karmas come. So there are three gates: mana, vachan, and kaya. Man means mind, vachan is speech, and kaya is body. The activity of these three invites the karma, and if that is followed by the passion, means I'm feeling rag or dvesh, then that will actually be frozen and the agreement will be signed and will be bonded to the karmas. Okay.
So what I was trying to, I don't know if I say I hit someone, does that mean the type of part, the karma that I bind will mean that someone will hit me?
Okay.
Or is it not like that?
Okay, for that we can use simple example. Okay, I'm riding my car and I just smash it. I meet an accident and in front of me there is a person who is lying on the floor, hit by my car. Okay, now who is going to serve the punishment, me or the car? Who hit that person, I or the car?
You.
The person is hit by Anubhav or by Anubhav's car.
Oh, by Anubhav's car.
So who should actually serve the punishment, Anubhav or Anubhav's car?
Anubhav will serve.
No, it doesn't make sense, no? I did not touch that person at all. I was sitting comfortably on my steering wheel in my seat. I did not even go near to that person. We are 10 feet away. Yet, the judge is going to punish me, not this car. Why? Who committed the crime, the car or the person?
You're controlling that car, so you committed the crime.
No, that is not the question. Who committed the crime, the car or the person?
Your questions never have straightforward answers.
See, similarly, if we go to let's say if we think about a slaughterhouse, right? So many animals are slaughtered in a day, right? If we'll technically see, after that slaughterhouse is closed, who should go to hell? All the machines of that slaughterhouse, because those machines have committed the crimes. But that doesn't happen. That never happens. What does it tell? That's what Jainism says is the actions, they have zero consequences. The actions, else your car should be punished, else that machine should go to hell. But no, that is not happening. Else who will be the biggest criminal? The clouds which bring the floods, the sun that actually burns so many organisms. The sun, why do we not eat at night? Why do we eat when sun is on? Because the moment sun takes birth, no, he actually obliterates so many of the organisms. He is a great killer. The sun is a killer. We use some good words, but yeah, because sun is killing all the beings, so we are okay to eat. The moment sun sets down, everybody takes birth and we are not in a position to eat. So we actually celebrate the killer while we say that we eat during the day. So should sun go to the hell? Why? Because that is a mechanism. That is a phenomena. The sun will shine, the rains will happen, the winds will blow. You cannot do anything about it. The crime happens when our emotions are attached. Correct? So what Jainism says is, if I'm hitting somebody and somebody is hit, will I attract certain type of karmas? Will not be determined by how I hit him, but by what I was thinking while I was hitting him. Just like that pig. That pig is thinking to save Muniraj. So he's still, after killing that lion, he's going to Swarga. And that lion is planning to eat that Muniraj. And even after killing the pig, he's going to Naraka. They both have killed each other. They both are lying dead on the ground. But they both have gone to different places. That pig, for his good emotions of saving somebody out of kindness, out of bhakti, he went to Swarga. So actions don't mean anything. What is required in Jainism, what we believe is that thoughts, the intentions, they will decide what kind of karmas, with what intensity they are going to stay. Right? So to answer your question, yes, the actions, they will actually make a window that the karmas are coming, these kind of karmas are coming, but their intensity will only be decided by our passions, what our thoughts are at that time. Right? So actions have very limited effect. They only open the window from which the karmas can come in. But the admission which is given to karma is only through our thoughts. Okay? Yes, Soham, your question?
Yes, if the soldiers that are fighting for their country, are they like doing any wrong?
That's what I'm asking you. Are they doing any wrong? They're fighting, they have guns, they're armed, they are there to kill. No matter whom they meet, if they find them their enemies, they'll kill them. Does your judge, will they, after coming back from the war, they'll be rewarded by you or they'll be punished by your judges? What
because
will you'll celebrate their victory, or you'll tell them that, okay, go to hell, you've killed so many people?
because they're fighting for what they think is right.
Yeah,
So
therefore, actions don't mean anything. It's all about intentions.
Okay.
Therefore, in Jainism, there are so many great people who have happened before, who fought for the freedom struggle, who fought the great battles of different times. We read them all the time. The Rama and Lakshman, they fought Ravan. The Pandavas fought Kauravas. Our whole mythologies are filled with wars. And yet we idolize these people. Why? For fighting? No. They're fighting not with the bad thoughts. The fighting became their dharma at that time because of the consequences. Right? So it's not that hitting somebody is bad, but when something unjust is happening around you, not standing up to your own self is also equally pathetic. We have to stand for ourselves. We have to be at much that strong that, okay, our liberty, our self-respect is not, what should I say, it should not be questioned, it should not be snatched away, right? So therefore the whole point is, actions, what we see, have very limited role. They can only be the indication, but the real role is played by the thoughts, what is going inside us. And therefore we need to protect or to preserve ourself, the inner self, more than what we give effort to preserve this body. We care too much for this body and too little for our thoughts. We should feed soul more to have better thoughts, because it is what those thoughts that will determine our future, that will determine the kind of karmas we are going to attract, that will determine the opportunities that we are creating to finish those karmas in a sooner stage. Correct? Any other question?
Anubhavji.
Yes.
So I think it gets confusing, right? Because we say that the Prakriti Bandh is to do with just the yoga, right? Just the actions. But then ultimately, the type of karma that we are binding is again down to our Kashai, right?
That's an excellent question. See, these two bandhas, firstly, just remember all these four are happening together. It's not that first the karmas are coming and then they're bifurcated. It is all happening together. Just that the yogas are constituting to the first two bandhas and the kashayas are constituting to the last two bandhas. But again and again, the twist is that if I do not have passion, then what type of karma I have is immaterial. See, I committed a crime and you announced a punishment. You said that you are going to stay in this jail. I said, fine. For how long? You said, for a minute. I said, I'm fine. See, if I do not have to fulfill for a duration, or if intensity is zero, you may say that, okay, you are going to suffer a huge hunger. Okay, how hungry will I be? How famished will I be? You already are hungry. I'm not feeling hungry. That's what your punishment is. Fine. It's of no use then. So if there is no intensity, if there is no duration, then no matter how harsh the type of karma is, it doesn't matter. So we do not have to worry about this. That's what Arihanta did. They did not worry about the body. They still have the body. What they worried about the passion. So they are vitragi now. They have no kashai. There is no kashai, so they have karmas, but with zero duration and zero intensity. So it's as good as not having karmas, right? You let that thing be, you just snatch the soul out of it. The karma is there, but it's just like an artifact. It's of no use. It's just lying there. Then how is it harmful to me? I have no problem with that sort of karma, right?
Is a way to think about it that let's say in the yoga you are bringing in 1,000,000 karmas, and in that 1,000,000 karma there is all these different compartments. Ultimately, when you bind because of your kashai, does a subset of that get bound depending on your
So the rule is, no matter what quantity, in what quantity the karmas come, if they've come, they'll only go out of the soul after we have, if the karma bondage is happening, we have to fulfill that term. Correct? So it's not happening that if hundreds are coming, our passions will only cater to 40 of those karmas and 60 will be gone. 60s will be redundant. No, it will not happen like this. If hundreds are coming, our passions will cater to all those 100 karmas. It's only that the duration and intensity of all those 100 karmas will be determined by the intensity of our passions. That's it. There is no discounting that is happening there. The karmas will attract only that amount of karma, which will be catered by only that level of passion, and all of these karmas will remain with the soul for the duration as fixed by the passions. So that will happen in that.
And I guess another point is that there's an interrelationship between the Kashai and the yoga anyway, right?
There is interrelationship with the Kashai and yoga, is that without yoga, Kashai cannot happen, but without Kashai, the yoga can happen. Right? So without emotions will always require man, vachan and kai. So without this body, I cannot think about you. I cannot think about this dress if I do not have body. So I'll have attachment towards this dress because I have the body of a person who wears kurta. If I'm a person who wears not kurta but something else, then I'll have desire of that. So kind of body. If this is the body of a girl, the desires will change. I will also want some ornaments. I might want some jewelry. I will have a very different set of demands. So the Kashai will feed on man, vachan and kai. So Kashai cannot happen without yoga. But yoga can happen without Kashai, which is happening with Arihantas.
But when Kashai does happen, then the yoga is in line with the Kashai.
Yes, it has to.
So then that explains that would explain then why, depending on your Kashai, there's a link to the Prakriti and the number anyway.
Yes, anyway. But categorizing that, okay, see, a cat it holds rat by its mouth, okay, and it holds its own kittens, right? The children of cat are called kittens. It holds its kitten by mouth as well, but the way it holds rat and the way it holds kitten is very different, though it looks the same, but there is a difference between the holding. A mother will hold her baby and will hold her friend's baby very differently. Though action is same. So therefore, because we have limited ways in which the actions can happen. So if a mother is taking baby on her, if mother has her baby with her, and if a mother has other person's baby with her, in both the ways she'll be holding the baby in the same action, but the sort of attachment is very different, and the karma cares about that attachment, not about your position. Therefore, the karmic bandha is always studied from the perspective of emotions and not from the perspective of our actions. Actions take the backseat. That is the whole essence. Understood? Soham, Adi, do you have, did you find it a bit difficult? It's fine or it's very confusing?
Fine.
Yeah, it's fine.
Fine, sure. Okay, I think today we have just completed our time. So in the next class, we'll do the types of karmas then, which we had to do today. So we'll be doing it. But I think the concept is clear, right? How the karmas are working and what all is being involved. It is all. Therefore, it is said that we should have the control on our thoughts and on our actions. If we can control the both, we can control the karmas. And if we cannot control them, if at least we can make them fall in discipline, then we can actually tweak with the kind of future we want to make. So if I can just decide between what brings good karmas and what brings bad karmas, and we can decide on those emotions, and we craft our daily routine according to that, it will not take more to make our life actually beautiful. That's why it's very important to know how a routine should be, in what sort of activity should be engaged in, so that our thoughts remain in that tandem, and that automatically clears the whole future that we are looking up to. Okay, chalo, let's do Chinmani Stuti quickly. निज निधि निज में बताई यह अनंत उपकार है, उसके लिए चिन्हवाणी माँ को वंदना शत बार है, उसके लिए चिन्हवाणी माँ को वंदना शत बार है. 9 times from Mukar Mantra. Jai Dharma, Jai Jinendra, thank you.
Judgment. Thank you.